The Quiraing is one of the most beautiful areas in the entirety of Scotland, and I can just see that just from standing here at this viewpoint. It's amazing how diverse the landscape is here on the Isle of Skye. It just feels like a place that you'd spot fairies and other mythical creatures, like a dragon could just land here and I'd be like, oh, okay then, I guess it's time for me to get my sword out and fight. Well, I crashed my drone. Hello everyone, I am Lewis, you are watching Lost in Travel, and welcome on back here to the Isle of Skye. If you didn't check out the previous video, then guys, please go ahead and do so, but if you have already seen the previous part, then you probably won't believe that this video was filmed just the day afterwards. Yes, it snowed overnight. The weather is actually beautiful down here, so we can't even believe our eyes that this is what the old man store looks like right now. We are ready for a really fun day, I just sense it. Previously on Lost in Travel, I embarked on an enchanting journey to the north of my country, Scotland, in search of mountains, and more mountains. In the first half of the trip, we strolled around the remarkable Donnan Castle, taking in fabulous views over to the Isle of Skye. After crossing the bridge onto the island, our weekend adventure began in the cute town of Portree. A quick skip and a jump led us to the Old Man of Storr, one of Skye's most iconic landscapes. Our hike there was unpredictable, with sun, rain, sleet and even snow. Snowing here at the Old Man of Storr. Oh, it's incredible. To end our day, we relaxed by the clear waters of Coral Beach. Can you believe that something this tropical even exists in Scotland? In today's episode, expect more of the same, but times 10. Beautiful mirror-like reflections? Got 'em. More insane hikes? Stay tuned. Coos, but not the Highland kind, unfortunately. The wind also gets windier and the magic gets even more magical. Join me as we explore this extraordinary part of the world together. Welcome to the Isle of Skye, the most magical place on earth.
Maybe the winters won't be so cold if we're together. But baby, if it's you and me, we can weather all sorts.
Skye is treating us to some of the best views this morning. The sun is hitting us perfectly. But welcome on here to our very first waterfall of the day. We're here at Mealt Falls, and with the backdrop of Torridon, the snowy landscape, we did hear that snow is covered the whole mainland here today. But Skye, thankfully, is not being hit by snow. Maybe unthankfully, I don't know if I actually want snow right now. I am actually in the mood for spring, so maybe snow is just not what I am wanting, but it's good to have it in the background, just be able to see it in the distance. Today is off to a great day in Mealt Falls. It's so powerful because of the rain we had last night. Alright guys, so in some fortunate news, there's one of the waterfalls that we're not able to see is Mealt Falls, and it is one of the most jaw-dropping waterfalls here in the Isle of Skye, but for some reason the car park is under some reconstruction, so we're actually not able to get to it. But we've parked up right beside it to see if we can get in, but it's all fenced off and stuff. And look at this. I'd probably be a bit more disappointed about not being able to see Mealt Falls, but then I look behind me and this is mind-blowing. Look at how still, it's like a mirror-like reflection of the backdrop here. A white house in the background that I've been just capturing so much with the camera, and I might even attempt to fly the drone and see if I can take it over to Mealt Falls, because it is definitely one of the tallest waterfalls here in Scotland, and I was wanting to see it from an aerial perspective. But even if I don't, just going to stop here and just look out at that jaw-dropping background, it's well worth it in my opinion.
I am fairly well now, I am strong, I am goodbye, I'm a long way from home. I am an orchard at the start of spring, I am a mockingbird, I love to sing, and I'm gonna fly, I'm gonna fly.
Alright guys, so the most embarrassing thing happened to me on this trip so far, and as you know, and if you've watched previous videos before, you know that I can be quite an embarrassing guy sometimes. I totally humiliate myself a lot. Well, I crashed my drone. consider myself a pretty good drone pilot, so I was really shocked that it happened, which I shouldn't be because it can happen to the best of us. But I was doing, this is a word of note to any drone users out there, I knew it was at 20% battery, and I was like, okay, it's going to come home, I should probably press the return to home button and bring it back to me. But I was like, so I basically positioned the drone facing towards the mountain range, moved it back, and because I wasn't seeing where it was going, I basically crashed it into probably some shrubbery. It went upside down and then it couldn't come to me, it lost signal, all that jazz, and I had to basically climb up into into this field and look for it. It took probably about 15 to 20 minutes, and I honestly, a part of me thought I was not going to be getting my drone back. So I do have the clip thankfully recorded for all of you guys to see how glorious it was, but just please don't do that. Word of note, don't be me. Anyways, we are now here at our next destination. Welcome on here to Staffin Beach, and if you feel like you've heard that name from somewhere, it's because this beach is really famous for a certain thing, and that is dinosaurs. Roar? Yeah, dinosaurs. There's been evidence of dinosaurs found on this very beach, including, and if I'm going to go see if I can see it, a megalosaurus footprint, which apparently when the tide is out, you can see that in the sand right here. That is pretty spectacular. Even if there was no dinosaur evidence on this beach, I still think it's pretty cool to come out and see, because the textures and the patterns in the sand is really amazing. Like I just walking down this and I'm like, oh, it's just the way it's just shaping in and out, zigzagging out towards the sea, I think it's pretty incredible, as well as you get an amazing view over at the scenery looking over towards Applecross and Torridon, which we've done in the NC 500, so it's now amazing to see that from the other side of the water. In you go. Seeing all of the dog footprints is really making me doubt myself, because I keep on going, oh, dinosaur footprint? No. Dinosaur footprint? No. Dinosaur footprint? No. Hey there, are you the dinosaur? I obviously offended that dog there. Oops. It's amazing how diverse the landscape is here on the Isle of Skye. Like, one moment you're walking around and you're like, oh my god, I feel like I'm in Middle Earth, I feel like I've entered Lord of the Rings. And then other times it's so magical, it's like, is it Harry Potter that I've now stepped into? But now on this beach, I feel like I am at Jurassic Park. Isle of Skye covers all bases of movies. There's even James Bond as well with Alien Dawn and Castle. God, I love my country. So that's what I should have looked like. So unfortunately we were unsuccessful in our attempt to find a dinosaur footprint, but it's a pretty cool beach nonetheless, so definitely get yourself out to Staffin Beach. Very different to the coral beaches which we saw on the last video. Hello, Coos. And we have finally made it here to one of the most famous landmarks, actually probably the famous landmark here in the Isle of Skye. Welcome on here to the Quiraing. The Quiraing is one of the most beautiful areas in the entirety of Scotland, and I can just see that just from standing here at this viewpoint right outside the car park, just looking out towards the bending road and just being amazed at every opportunity I can. This is extraordinary and is quite otherworldly. You wouldn't believe that I'm in Scotland right now. I feel like I'm on a different planet. Sloping valleys, this is magical. Alright, so I've just began my walk up to the Needle, and this is definitely one of the most scenic walks I have ever done. It is honestly just blowing me away. They do say that it should take you an hour to complete one length of this walk and an hour back, so 2 hours in total, but that is of course only if you're in a rush. I feel I'm gonna just take it all in, appreciate the nature that's here, and just be grateful that I live so close to here and I can just come out and just admire the view. Oh my god, this landscape is something to behold. I could rather just sit here and take in this view all day. Now I totally understand why Americans come to Scotland and all they do is talk about Harry Potter, because that is magical. Alright guys, so before we continue with this walk, I just want to let you know that this is quite an extreme hill walk right here. The rocks do look to have been falling down a bit. It looks to be quite of a steep drop. So we're just gonna, in a quite a narrow passage as well, to make it to the needle. I'm hoping I'm going to attempt it, but obviously we're just going to have to see. We don't want to put ourselves at danger or anything, as much as I do want a shot off that rock. You know, I think there's other things I can do in my life, so I don't want to die today. So I'm going to attempt to make it over there. We'll see how it goes, and just to let you know, if you're not an experienced walker, maybe take this little bit of caution. Alright guys, I want to update you all. We are still alive, we're still doing the walk, so I can't speak too soon, but currently I am still on the road to the needle. I'm going to say it did look a lot more daunting from the back there. It is actually not as bad as it looks, but you do just have to be very careful. A lot of the boulders are falling down and stuff. So it does feel very natural. It does feel like the path has not been made and designed for us. We're not privileged enough for that. We are just walking on the terrain that is kind of eroded away because of people in the past making this their walk. But God almighty, the views are incredible. I'm just going to stop looking and actually pay attention to the direction that I'm going in. We've got waterfalls and everything coming up right here. But to be honest, I can see why we were scared. It did honestly look like people were just walking on the side of the verge there, and one wrong misstep, they'd be going all the way down. But thankfully, not yet. Okay, so we've just stepped over some stepping stones over waterfalls, climbing over the side of cliffs. I feel like I'm Indiana Jones right now. It is epic. But I'm going to say, my family, they definitely have the teamwork advantage in display here. You should see my mum and my dad just helping my sister up. She's a bit scared of hill walking. I've kind of persuaded her to come out here. I don't even know what I'd done to even make her say yes, but I was really shocked when she did. So I know that it is quite difficult to get my family out here to do it, but we're working as a team. We're definitely helping each other, even though they have just left me to film. But see, look at this. Ugh. I'm on top of the world, baby, and my family, I love it that I'm here with them. What an adventure I'm on. Looks like we've just entered a animal graveyard here on the way to the needle. Okay guys, I'm so out of breath. I think that is the needle up there. I've got so much respect for photographers. I did not know that the shots that I see from the Quiraing on Instagram, every single person had to do this trick to get to it. That is so much, I've got so much admiration and inspiration from those guys. Seeing them do it like in the worst conditions possible, like snow, fog, rain in the night time, it's insane that people do that, and look at how steep it is to get to the top. Whew, okay, let's see if I can do it. So guys, we've decided we're tired enough today, I never walked the steep walk up to the needle, but you know what I done instead? I done the cheat code. I used my drone, flew it basically to where I would stand for a photo, and I got that traditional shot of the needle, and it was spectacular. The only downside to that was I couldn't get my mum or anything to go up and be the subject. I was really wanting a person in the shot just to show the scale of that rock formation, but nevertheless I still managed to get the shot, and I just know that if I'm going to come back, even if I just come back myself, fly the drone to where I need it to be, I will be the subject, I'll be the model, and I'll stand and look pretty in front of the needle. But anyways, we're now taking a different approach to get down. There's some sheep down there. We are surrounded by nature, surrounded by lots of grit and feeling like we're going to fall to our very doom, but we're succeeding. I'm telling you now, I'm not falling today. My sister already has once, but not me. Not me. Similar anyways that affect mountain climbing and hiking. It's kind of like beer and coffee. It's one of those things that, you know, you just grow into the more you do it. We'll see if we can make a hill walker out of her yet.
When the morning sings with the light it brings, all the things we get to do tomorrow, winter's ending and spring will follow soon.
Hey guys. Hey. Nice to see you. Oh, look at that one run. Woohoo! Completed the Quiraing, baby. Alright guys, after an exciting day out at the Quiraing, we've now arrived back at our accommodation after passing through Quiraing. And in Quiraing we picked up some dinner at this nice chip bar area. We got burgers for dinner tonight, burgers and chips, which I think are well needed after such a massive hike. Thank you all for joining me on that, and if you are ever going to be in the Isle of Skye yourself, Quiraing is the ferry terminal over to the Outer Hebrides. Amazing to go over and do that if you've got the time while you're exploring the islands here in Scotland. But for now, we're just going to go dive into our burger as we've got one more day exploring around the Isle of Skye. We have 20 minutes to check out, and my dad and my sister have decided that they have enough time to play a game of Scrabble in that time. Alright guys, so we have checked out of our accommodation, and looking at the weather today, you wouldn't believe that this is the day after yesterday, because look at it, it is proper back to February weather here in Skye. And without further ado, I'm going to go find some fairies.
Look at you standing there, rings of flowers in your golden hair, moving through
The rolling hills and the luscious grasslands here really makes me feel like I've entered Narnia. There's another movie to add to your list. I'm just basically naming all of the fantasy movies I can think of and saying that the Isle of Skye reminds me of being there. But it's true. Is this Middle Earth? Is this Narnia? Is this Harry Potter? Tell me in the comments below, because I think it is all of the above. And I have now made it here to the Fairy Glen. So if you have been watching me for some time, you probably know that when I went to the Outer Hebrides, I came back on a day trip on the Isle of Skye before coming home. On that trip, we managed to go to the fairy pools. They were glorious. It was a nice summer day. People were in the water. It was a lovely time. But I think these are nicer in moody conditions. I don't know if you think so too. But you're watching from home, nice warm temperature of your house. But I'm out here in the pouring rain, trying to find some fairies. It's amazing how many fairy-related things are here on the Isle of Skye, and I totally understand why. This does look like a place that if fairy just came out and landed on my shoulder, I'd be like, oh, hi Tink, and it would just feel like a place that you'd spot fairies and other mythical creatures, like a dragon could just land here, and I'd be like, oh, okay then, I guess it's time for me to get my sword out and fight. But that is what is amazing about Scotland and about the wilderness. Anyways, I'm going to see if I can get some advantage points off the Fairy Glen and show you everything that's here. The cool thing about the Fairy Glen is the rock formation in the circle. It's kind of like all of the standing stones that you get around the UK, like Stonehenge, Calendar stones, etc. People do not know how they got here. How did the rocks form this circle in the middle of these rolling valleys? And because of that, there was folklore started that people believed that elves came out of their hiding and stuck the rocks in this very formation that you see right now.
Swimming in the bright early morning sun that's creeping in the still early morning light. I can feel
116 meters. So huge Monroes right there, and they are just encapsulated this area. It is definitely a place to be. And I've got to say, the fog's coming in, the fog's quite low. The conditions are perfect to take your camera out and go do some shooting off your own. I've got to say that Isle of Skye is one of the best places I've ever taken the camera, and I'm definitely going to be back here on more photography trips with other fellow photographers. If you want to plan a trip to Isle of Skye, guys, just DM me and we can get organising that. Okay guys, so I'm now back in the car and we are now about to do about the 4.5 hour drive back to Dunfermline. But thank you all for checking out these 2 videos. It means a lot to me. I have got to say, and I probably say this after every vlog, but I think this was the best vlog I've made. Yes, I've had an extraordinary time filming and taking photographs here on the Isle of Skye, and I think that when you've got all the right atmospheres and conditions, it really does make my photography process a lot more simpler. And I think we got the best of both worlds with the weather here. We've had some moody weather, we've had snowy weather, we've had amazing sunshine, high winds. I've had it all up here, and basically that is only in 5 minutes. So guys, please drop a like if you did enjoy the video, please share with all your family and your friends, and subscribe to stay tuned to wherever I will be taking you on next time. Anyways, farewell, peace out, catch us later.
You come fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see. Yeah, don't you know that life's a dance? Come take my hand and fly away